Welcome to Cawffee Talk. I'm Mark Tullis. This is my partner Kirsten Coleman.
Hello.
We are Coffee Cup Productions, and today is New Music Monday.
Mm-hmm. And we have today in studio, because our studio is so awesome and people love to come here, Tony Calderisi. And you just heard the originator. That's the originator of Groove Thing.
Yes, if you've been paying attention.
Yeah. That's the opening song.
Yes,
that we use.
We use Groove Thing, an old Intrinsic recording, as our theme music,
but this was live.
That's right. This was like the man before
From the man.
Intrinsic.
Yeah.
So it's so cool to have Tony Calderisi here. So we're gonna talk all things Tony, and
we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.
You may have caught our captivating podcast, bringing you great music and conversations you might not otherwise find. We can also produce a podcast for you. A big network feel, without the big price tag.
everybody, welcome Tony Calderisi.
Hey, Tony.
Hello.
Hi.
Thanks for coming, Tony.
Thanks for coming back, we should say. I mean, full disclosure.
No, let's not tell everybody everything.
We screwed the first one up, so he's back for a second time.
I had a mustard stain on my shirt. Just let everybody know.
Thanks, Tony. That's
right.
Nice.
Our
stylist was on vacation.
Now,
yeah.
And,
yeah.
We're going to have
Thank
that all
God
Photoshop
that out.
We had hair and makeup here today, though, for him, so he's good to go.
Looking good, buddy.
Thank you.
So, Tony and I go way back. Tony is a fantastic musician, an engineer, a songwriter, a teacher. He built a lot of studios too for all of his gear days too. So, Tony, tell us what you're up to.
Well, these days I'm fronting a project called the band Calderisi. It's some of my original music that I've been working on over the last 15 years. Some of it's 15 years old. Some of the tunes on the album are just a few months old. But we released it back digitally. It's a digital release on Spotify or iTunes. The band Calderisi Songs for the Years Gone By is the name of the album.
Appropriate.
Yeah. And let's see. So some of those tunes were written months before the album was released. So it's a good collection, I think, well representative of what I do, the music, my influences, things that I've been into, my writing style. So, lots of guitar.
What is your writing style? Explain your writing style to people.
Well, it's certainly pop influenced. I can't deny that, which would go back from my influences as a fan of the Beatles, fan of 70s rock, guitar. I love the sound of the guitar. I love loud guitar. I love loud drums. But I also like more delicate playing styles, acoustic, Simon and Garfunkel, things of that nature.
You hear a lot of that.
Yeah, it's an eclectic collection of style. But I'm also a sucker for melody. I get down on just about anything if it's got a great hook to it, no matter what genre it's from.
The hook is key.
Yeah, the hook is key.
It is key. It really is.
So,
I think that's why She's a Garden is stuck in my head right now, like all the time. I wake up every morning playing that song in my head. And
I shared with Kirsten an old recording of
really
the
old
original Telstar band, and we've been rocking it in the car for weeks.
It's such a cool song. Look it up, people. It's awesome.
Yeah, Telstar was a band that I put together. Again, it was, working with Mark back in the 90s. Mark Tullis and I were mostly, in a collective of bands, and Chris Peterson on drums, and Martha Rudy was one of the groups we played with. Hitbone was a group that we played with, Stephanie Rogers. And I was just kind of, writing songs and putting them on the side, and those bands that we were playing in, they started to fall by the wayside, and in the meantime I had my songs that I had been collecting, and my good friend Mike Whalen was living in San Francisco at the time, moved back to Chicago, and I said to Mike one day back late 90s, I've got these songs, you want to start see what we can do with them, and we put together Telstar, and that became my focus for about 3 or 4 years, and decided that changes were coming about with meeting my wife at the time, and wanted to be a family man, and
that took precedence.
That took precedence.
Right. Yeah, well, and as it should.
And learned a lot about the music industry. Learned a lot
good,
about...
bad, yes,
mostly
no.
bad.
Mostly bad, right?
Mostly
yeah,
bad.
That's kind of the
It
thing.
wasn't
All right,
worth
pay
the
attention, young
commitment.
people.
Yeah.
It wasn't really worth the commitment. For me, I felt I was definitely at a crossroads in my life with it, and I just felt that the industry was changing. I wasn't a young 20-year-old who would be willing to
tour and
be in a bus or a van eating Cheetos, sleeping with the same guys in the bus
for
the van,
months
and not making any money. I was I was ready to start the next phase of my life, and it was a matter of timing, I think. Plus the industry, I think you had Napster and some other things that were coming about where people were sharing music or stealing music, however you want to look at it. And the record labels weren't the same. They were scattering, trying to find a way to continue to be as powerful as they could, and have control over your
art,
and
your actual publishing,
your publishing, all that stuff. So
it's a little suffocating for people, I think, especially for creative people. You just if you're very creative about your writing process or how you write music, and somebody's like, I want it all, that's kind of a problem. It can feel bad,
Absolutely.
How do you think the tide, or has the tide turned for an artist now that it seems like they're not really coming after your publishing just as much as you getting to be on their platform, just so that their platform gets bigger?
Yeah. Is that a thing, do you think? Or
I sort of stopped paying attention. And part of that, just to keep my sanity, also it's so easy now to get familiar with GarageBand on your iPad or your whatever platform you want to record on, and create and put something out. It's not hard. Distribution is no longer the secret to it's so much easier to get the music out. You could be put your music out on YouTube, and if you have the right kind of promotion, or you have the right look, or whatever it might be, you can sort of do it yourself.
Be a viral sensation.
You can, but I think absolutely you can, but I think that it's a real challenge to do that all the time, to be that prolific without getting any sort of monetary feedback for that, right? So you're putting it all out there, and you're putting it on Spotify, and you're putting it on iTunes, and you're putting it on YouTube, but you're getting like pennies to the dollar for stuff that
Right.
is being downloaded.
That's not where the money comes from.
So that's not where the money
you're right.
comes from,
You're right.
So you've got to figure out other ways to make money as a musician.
So that's why I don't rely on it as
yeah,
a
yeah,
source of income.
yeah, exactly. So now you have a real job.
You do it because you love it. We've
Right.
all started out somewhere with this dream, and it was out of the passion and love of music. And if you're skilled enough and you learn how to write songs, and you move people in a certain way, then that's really, I think, ultimately what it's all about. I still love more than anything. I still love to play a song in front of people and see their reaction, and if they know the song well enough to know the lyrics and sing back to me while I'm singing to them. That to me is like that. That's it right there. You
Cool.
know,
I'll be singing "She's a Garden" back to you as soon as you.
You're gonna have to dust.
You're gonna
that
have
song
to dust
off.
it off
I'm gonna
and
have
play
to
it
blow the
again
dust off
because
these old ones.
I'm like learning it. I even wrote down the lyrics. I'm like, it's so awesome.
Real insider thing, Tony. My favorite song was "Vampire." Do you remember
Dang,
that song?
Mark,
That was
what are you
old.
doing to me?
That's old. Yeah, that's okay.
Did you
dig way
find
back?
"Vampire"? You said you had gone through your analog annals.
I think. Okay, so that was recorded on a machine that I no longer own, and I have
It was
to
a
see if I can-
reel-to-reel
It's a
8-track.
reel-to-reel 8-track, quarter-inch Fostex that I bought when I was working at Minstrel Music. When I was working in the music store.
Mike is my new Facebook friend, Mike Galliano.
Mike G.
Yeah,
Mike
Mike-
Galsini.
Galsini.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he's the best. He's like one of my favorite people on earth. Yeah, so that machine, not only was it not necessarily rare, but somebody modified it. I did not know this at the time, but somebody modified the speed on it so that it played like twice as slow as it did coming out of the factory.
Oh.
So I might still have the reel. If
Or
it's in good condition,
yeah.
we might have to put it on a slow bake in the oven for about 30 minutes at 115 degrees. But we also have to find the machine.
Okay.
So, I mean, maybe if you have a recording or something like that, we can...
There's probably a DAT
somewhere,
in the
yeah. I'm
storage
sure there's
locker.
somewhere in the storage locker
Yeah,
we have
yeah.
all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you couldn't just find your old songbook and then start playing that song again.
I don't know if there's a songbook.
he might have to we were just off camera. I was writing the lyrics down to "She's a Garden" and he had to sing it in
Yeah.
order to tell me the lyrics. He really had to sing it, so maybe he just has to sing "Vampire" and then it'll all come back to him.
We're not doing this.
No, we're not.
We're not making
Don't
me do
panic.
this.
No, don't panic. We're not doing
You
this.
want to see a guest really sweating on a chair?
No, we're not doing
I
it.
do want to ask you about your singing influences because, I think that's really what I mean, a lot of people have a song. I had a writing partner, Karen Anderson, and she's a great vocalist. But she said my songs became real when she sang them because when I sing them, it's okay, I think I get this melody, and I think I see the hook, but it's when a real vocalist grabs a hold of a song, then it's something. And I think there's something haunting and captivating about your voice and your style that really makes a song happen. Where does that come from?
Over the years, well, we have to go back here because, I mean, I can clearly remember the days of being in the back seat of my parents' car and trying to sing a Beatles song or a Queen song and trying to hit the notes and really push it and just kind of just as a kid, as this this immature voice, vocal cords, whatever you want to call it, and but I always had it in my head that I wanted to sound like whoever it was that I was hearing on the song. Back when I first got a guitar and we were in our formative years of playing, Chris Peterson and I, we had our little high school band, and it was always a matter of well, let's do this song or let's do that song, and then nobody wanted to step up to the plate and sing. So we had to have a singer, and I felt I could kind of do it. I could kind of sing. I never took any vocal lessons. But I think it was more of those years of trying to sound like somebody, whether it's Paul McCartney or I don't even know. I can't think of, Paul Simon, somebody that was a major influence on me back when I was younger, that I just wanted to focus in on whatever the tonality and the timbre of their voice was. And then I can't forget to say that when I was in college, we took harmony ear training classes for a music degree, and they just beat that into you, the being able to sing intervals and sing on pitch. And it wasn't so much that it was a vocal class, but it was more of like, can you sing a perfect fifth? Can you sing a major third? Can you sing a tone on a whole tone scale? Can you sing a harmonic minor scale? Things like that. And so you just had to be able to recreate that sound. You would play it on a piano, and then you would sing it back to the teacher, and that's how you were graded. And those classes were really intense, and I think that's where that's sort of the structure or the edifice of what's become, the strength in my vocal ability.
He actually knows which notes he's going for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
And then the other part of it that I love
It's not a surprise.
the other part that I've always loved is taking the concepts of being a lead guitarist, or coming up with melodies on guitar. I would sometimes sing what I wanted to play on the guitar. Like, I would sing it to myself and say, I want to do this or I want to do that, and I would sing it, and then I would copy that melody line that I sang and copy it on the guitar. So they kind of worked in simpatico.
Yep.
And
And
and then it's just years of doing it and
Yeah.
over. It's just, and then it becomes a skill. It's like the Finnish carpenter that can, cut perfect box joints and crown molding.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Things of that nature. Try to do that on your own without having any skill.
I'm sure that'll come out lovely.
Count your
There's
fingers.
only so much caulk in the world that can fill those gaps.
That's true. That's true.
Well, you really do have to see Tony sing
You
and
do.
play guitar
Yeah.
live. So
Yeah.
that's
That's a must.
that's a must.
Given, yes.
And actually, Tony, we'd like you to sing
Okay.
and play a song for us. Can you tell us a little bit about your process to come up with a particular song?
So it can come from various places. I tend to write from experiences, lyrically. So sometimes I could just sit on the sofa watching a basketball game or a football game and just be strumming along, and then be like, oh, that's kind of cool. That catches your ear, and you kind of make a song out of it. But to actually talk about the process of writing a song, that basically comes from some sort of experience, whether it's personal or some sort of ancillary type of experience that's going on in my life, or something that I've seen from the outside. But I'm trying to think of what song I want to play. Last time I was here, I played Bayou, so I'll play it again.
Yeah, that's great. Do that. Yes.
So
for
Bayou
sure.
is a song that was written back in 2005. My second daughter was only about a year old, and I was the stay-at-home daddy for her. And we'd sit and we'd play, and I'd give her bottle when she needed it, and did all the things that a parent's supposed to do. Read to her, all those kinds of things, and was having such personal, joyous moments with her. And I just remember having the news on, and Hurricane Katrina was happening at that moment, and I couldn't believe the despair and the pain that people were going through in Louisiana and New Orleans. While meanwhile, I'm at home, living,
enjoying life,
and enjoying my baby and my family. And the song is based on that dichotomy, that what is life going to be like for her? Is she ever going to experience these types of feelings that I'm having right now? So the song's called Bayou.
All right.
Look into your eyes, I seem to wonder what your future brings. Watching as you smile, there is a horror unlike anything. I take you far away to keep you safe and teach you how to love and who we are. There I stop to love you and adore you and fear it from afar. I'm singing bye, oh. Let me put my arms around you, keep you safe and sound. I sing bye, oh. Now I know I have to leave you, let you love the world around and who you are. Oh, Saint Teresa, come and rescue them, take them from the pain. Living on the bayou, Lord, it's helpless, and I can't look away. So keep them strong and keep their spirit up, show them that we're helping out the cause. All the saints in heaven and the bayou, keep on keeping on. Oh, I'm singing bayou. Let me put my arms around you and keep you safe and sound. I sing bayou. Now I know I have to leave you, let you love the world around and who you are. Yeah. Woo-hoo. Oh, oh, oh. Saints in heaven and the bayou, keep on keeping on. And all the saints in heaven and the bayou, keep on keeping on. Oh, yeah. I'm singing bayou. Let me put my arms around you, keep you safe and sound. I sing bayou. Now I know I have to leave you, let you love the world around you, singing bayou. Let me put my arms around you and keep you safe and sound, singing bayou. Now I know I have to leave you, let you love the world around and who you are. Oh, yeah. Ooh, yeah. Oh, oh, come down, let the sun shine down. Oh, oh, yeah. Come on, let the sun shine down. Oh, oh, yeah. Come on, let the sun shine down. Oh, oh, yeah. Come on, let the sun shine down and see you smile.
Yeah.
Wow.
Awesome. Louisiana, you guys should use this as your theme song.
That's great.
It is beautiful.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, beautiful.
Thank you.
Is Bayou on Spotify?
Bayou is on the album Songs for the Years Gone By, the band Calderisi.
Excellent.
So you can check out the website, thebandcalderisi.com. It's on there. Or, like I said, you can go to Spotify, iTunes. I think Amazon has it. Just stream it, download it, pay for it. I don't know.
Yeah, pay for it.
We would
Come
love
here
it
and
if you
play
pay for
it.
it.
Give
Yeah.
it away as gifts. Buy it for all your friends.
Gosh. Yeah.
Now, we're going to close out the show with a studio track. I just have to say that I happen to know that Tony is a bit of a wizard in the studio. Like, we made some magic with a 4-track once. I was like, I can't believe this is a 4-track recording. This came out so cool. It's like, you know, we were bouncing stuff down like the Beatles and getting the most out of you know,
Squeeze the life out of that little 16th inch
Make it work.
of
Yeah.
analog tape.
Yep, it was lo-fi, but it really came, you know, we had some stuff come out cool.
Yeah. But that's not what we're playing.
Well, no,
We're playing something from his new album.
Tony, can you just tell us a little bit about how I know you use Pro Tools, and some of your stuff is you used analog.
Yeah, I've always been a fan of analog tape. I've never been able to afford the big old 2-inch 24-track tapes. Basically used the highest quality of 16-track home consumer level recording equipment. Like I said, back in the day working at a music store, it was so easy to just be like, oh, can I borrow this compressor? Or can I take this microphone home for the night? I got a session, and I'll just bring it back, things like that. So things were cobbled together in that way. But I remember working on a session with Steve Gillis at his home studio before he started Transient. And I'd be like, oh, analog's the way to go, analog's the way. And he had this Pro Tools set up, and he's like, listen, he's like, you're chasing your tail here, because the digital stuff is just getting better and better, and you have just infinite amount of track space, and as long as you have a decent computer and a fast hard drive and some disk space, you could do tons.
Rule the world. Yeah.
Rule the world, exactly. And so I was like, I don't buy it, but I'll check into it.
Wait, Tony, are you a Capricorn?
I am not.
Oh, okay.
I'm a Scorpio.
Okay, well, there.
I don't know much about that kind of stuff. Anyway, so I bought a Pro Tool system, and I've never looked back. Yeah. And I hung on to my analog gear, and I tried to do let's record drums on tape and then just feed it in. And eventually it just got to be like, you know what? I can actually get the compression and, the quality that analog brings to digital. I can chop up digital and, chop it up like your school paper.
Yeah.
Your word
move
processor,
stuff
your Word
around.
document.
Yeah. Yep.
So I love the organic nature of recording analog and the manual manipulation of faders and committing to a printed mix in that capacity. But gosh, it's so easy to just be like, oh, what do we need to do? Turn the guitar up 2 dB or whatever, or pan
right
to
here
the left.
only.
Yeah,
and you go back and you recall a mix.
Yeah.
It's just so easy to sort of do your mix while you're recording with digital. So you can't beat the convenience factor of it.
And that's how this new album is.
The new album, everything I've been doing with bands that I've been recording, I do project work for all sorts of folks. Trying to think. So Andrew Fraker and Sons is a band that I'm a part of. That we've got 2 albums out on iTunes. Those we did at my studio. This fella Dennis Fuentes, he's done some work with me at my home studio. Scotch the Filmmaker, they're another group that I've done some work with, and it's the flexibility of it's just it's amazing.
It's
you know,
incredible.
you just go ahead and you record something, and then we're gonna I'm gonna email you these tracks.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
you're in Seattle, Washington. Can you record a guitar part for this? Here, I'll just and you just send me the file, and I just import it in,
And there you go. Done song.
it's really just sort
Yeah.
of changed the world, the way that we record.
It's cool though. I think
capture
it's cool
ideas.
in that respect. You just brought it up, like sending tracks back and forth to Seattle and stuff. I think it's really cool to be able to work with remote friends, artists,
Absolutely.
very, very easily to put together some really great stuff.
Sure.
You're not beholden to a
And
label
not-
to
yeah.
fly you.
Right, and you don't
I mean,
need
it
to
goes
fly
back to that
across
whole
country.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly,
It's
exactly.
like we can all do this on our own.
Right.
We got the capacity
Right.
to do it, and the
Right.
technology is there. So.
Yeah. Cool. Well, we're going to play a track from the album, and thank you for coming in
Absolutely.
again.
I
Really
appreciate
appreciate it. And
Oh, what song is this? What song is this, Tony?
What song is this?
Something-
Something Someone.
Something Somewhere.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
It's nice.
Yeah, and
Tony
go
Calderisi,
go see
everybody.
Tony if
Look
you
up,
hear-
yeah,
The band
Calderisi.
The Balkan- yep.
The schedule's on there. I'm playing all over the place.
Yeah, do it. Go see this man. He's awesome.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank
Thanks,
you, Tony.
I appreciate it.
Take this time, keep it safe, keep you sane. Haunted past,
Cawffee Talk is a Coffee Cup Productions podcast. Find our video podcasts on YouTube, Facebook, and our website, coffeecupproductions.com. Audio podcasts can be downloaded from Stitcher, iTunes, Google Play Music, and Spotify. Search for Cawffee Tawk, CAWFFEETAWK, Cawffee Talk.
I never once believed that the way it's touching down on me, that's not my reality. I always chase.
Such a bitch, and why can't I be?
Yeah, exactly. It's like one of those. Like, just